Hello and welcome to cookingflavors.com. Our channel is aimed at teaching beginners the ABCs of Indian cooking. We bring to you the very basic, simple, easy to learn and cook recipes and a guide to the most essential cooking strategies. Keep watching and enjoy our recipes. For today's recipe, we look at the preparation of a very different and tasty tomato soup, which is not just an appetizer, but that which can be mixed with rice and eaten. For that, I've taken about 3 tablespoons of oil and added fennel seeds, bay leaf, cinnamon sticks, cardamom and cloves, and a few coriander leaves. Now goes in 1 onion, a little bit of salt for the onions to saute well, a tablespoon of ginger and garlic paste, and we'll stir them well. Now goes in about half a teaspoon of turmeric powder and we'll stir it well. Once that is done, I'm adding about 4 to 5 ripe tomatoes and some chili powder according to your taste. I've added the Kashmiri red chili powder to give it a nice bright color. If you want, you can also use the regular chili powder. Now add the required amount of salt. Salt can be adjusted towards the end also. Now I'm adding in a few coriander leaves here and we'll cover it with a lid till the tomatoes get nice and juicy and pulpy and they extract their total juices. It's been about 7 to 8 minutes and the tomatoes have become nice and smashy. You can see it's totally juicy as well. I've not added any water at all. Now goes in about a little bit of water till all the tomatoes get well immersed and we'll stir it well. Make sure to add water once the tomatoes completely get cooked and smashed. After that, add the required amount of water, just enough for it to immerse well. Now we'll wait for this to come to a nice boil before we add in the tur dal. The tomato gravy has come to a nice boil. It took just approximately about 3 to 4 minutes on high flame. Now it's a perfect time for us to add in the tur dal. I've taken just less than a quarter cup of a tur dal, added a little bit of hing or asafoetida and a little bit of baking soda, and I've pressure cooked it with just enough water, about 3 to 4 whistles. You can see this tur dal is in a nice, it's a little thicker consistency like our regular dal, but for this recipe it should be nice and watery, so I'll be adding in a lot of water here. Now you can see it is nice and watery. We just want to give the soup a hint of this tur dal. At the same time, it should be nice and watery and liquidy. So now goes in the tur dal mixture. Now we'll stir that in well so that the dal and the water mixes well with the tomato gravy. Now remember, this soup is just to mix with rice and eat, and this is not like an appetizer or anything. So this will almost be like a rasam kind of a consistency. So it should be nice and liquidy. So I've added some more water here. Make sure it's nice and as watery as possible, but it should retain the tastes of the chili powders, the salt, etc. So as you're adding in water and you've added the dal mixture also, so make sure to adjust the salt every now and then. It should have the perfect blend of the masala tastes on your tongue. I will show you. See, this is the consistency in which the soup should be. It should be that watery and liquidy. Now I'm squeezing in just about half a lemon to give it a nice tangy flavor. So ideally this recipe will be nice if it's a little tangy. So as far as possible, try to get a little tangier tomatoes and use the Kashmiri red chili powder to give it a nice blend of the a little bit of sourness in the soup recipe. So even while serving it, serve it with a lemon wedge. Now put your flame on high and we have to wait till this comes to a nice rolling boil. Once it starts coming to a rolling boil, you have to allow it to keep boiling for a maximum of 5 to 6 minutes. Now this recipe may seem very new to very many of you, but believe me, you have to try this to relish its flavor. It best goes on a nice, when you're really hungry and you want to eat something very tasty and nice, you should take just a scoop of rice and add this soup. Even while eating with your, it should not be dry. You should add just enough amount of the soup. It should be running in your plate. That's how this dish is eaten, and you can serve it with any kind of vegetable of your choice. The perfect side dish which goes with it is, if you're a non-vegetarian, I think a boiled egg or an omelette or a bullseye is the perfect combination for this. Now we'll wait for it to come to a nice rolling boil while the flame is on high. Now you can see it's come to a nice super rolling boil after about 5 to 6 minutes on high flame. Keep stirring in between because it's on high flame. Be careful. Now this is a perfect time to switch off the stove. It's come to a nice super rolling boil. This is how we want it. You can see it's all frothing up. When it starts frothing up, it means it's done. You will have the perfect taste. One last time, check for salt here at this point in time. If you wish to, you can also serve this as an appetizer, but this is not an appetizer. It's a tomato soup which is has to be mixed with rice. Now I'm showing you the consistency of this soup in a ladle so that you know how thin this soup has to be. So this is the perfect tomato soup for rice. It's a very different recipe, not found in very many houses. Do try this out and give us your feedback. You will definitely love it and you will keep cooking it again and again. Hope you enjoyed this very tasty yet a very different kind of a tomato soup, not just as an appetizer but mainly served as a tomato soup to be mixed with rice. Do post in your comments and suggestions and hit the like button. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and you can also visit us at cookingflavors.com. Till we see you again with another new and interesting recipe, thank you and happy cooking.